I got another thing from WWE. Roman Reigns is now becoming a part-time wrestler.
That
Uh,
blows my mind.
that
That
it,
blows my mind. That
uh,
makes no sense to me. How in
he's
the
basically
world?
like a Brock Lesnar at this moment.
No, but see, here's the thing. He's a undisputed universal champion. He has both belts. How the fuck are you going to make that man full part-time when he has two of the both fucking belts? That makes no sense to me. That is, I'm surprised he isn't full-time. Like, he needs to be full-time on both shows if you have both them belts. Because you know why? Because you're going to have someone from Raw. You're going to wrestle Monday night. Then on Friday night. Then you're going to be wrestling 2 times on pay-per-views. Twice. One for that belt and one for the other. That should be a full-time thing. Like, what's going to happen if the Usos win the Raw tag team? They're going to work part-time? Fuck no. That's bullshit.
Usos has never worked part-time ever.
I understand that, but I mean, what they're going to do? They're going to put them on part-time too? That
Like,
makes no fucking sense.
I understand that you want the bloodline to be on ever since. Okay, let me rephrase this. I understand that you're like Vince McMahon was working towards Roman Reigns becoming this persona now, which I understand that. I love that he was doing that because the Shield Roman Reigns was good, was awesome, excellent. In the
That was by
middle when
far
they
one
were
of the best groups in WWE.
yeah,
One
one
of
of
the
the
best.
best group slash tag teams in WWE. Yes. Well, in the new era, let me not just say in general, in the new era. And then obviously when you made, the Roman Empire Roman Reigns, obviously, yes, it was still getting worked on. He was still getting booed from everywhere between 2015 to 2019. Then he started getting cheered, and then he took a break because of COVID. He didn't want to, catch COVID and all that. That's why he took a break. And then he came in this new persona in when the Thunderdome was built, and now became the tribal chief. How you see him now. Good. So him being Universal Champion all throughout the Thunderdome was excellent, was great. But now here's the problem. Brock Lesnar came back in the picture. That's good. They obviously Brock obviously made a match on I think it was SmackDown one day and literally said title for title. Roman Reigns said, "No, I don't feel like doing it." Vince McMahon thought it was a good idea. Roll with the shit anyway. Now,
Because that WrestleMania,
and that
I'm telling
WrestleMania,
you, that WrestleMania was streams were through the roof. Most they haven't seen in a long time.
in a long
Like
time, because WrestleMania was shit for a goddamn minute. It was shit. And now this WrestleMania, I'm gonna say, I said it before on my previous podcast, Wrestle 38, by far the best one we've seen in a long ass time, honestly.
because out of all the WrestleManias they have had, I mean, of course the most talked WrestleMania of all time is going to be the Hulk versus Andre. That is going to be well known as the WrestleMania that started it all. I mean, and then, there's plenty of moments, but I just got to say, Roman Reigns should not be part time, especially if you have both titles. That's fucking insane.
I
That
know, like,
motherfucker should be wrestling twice a week, and on
but
pay-per-views, he
but
should be wrestling 2 times a night. There
but you
is no
should
way.
understand that. Look, and also too, but also thing, he has Paul Heyman. You know, once you're partnered with Paul Heyman, you're barely gonna have any defenses besides CM Punk. That's another story for another day. But when you partner with Paul Heyman, you're not gonna defend that title all the goddamn time like a regular superstar will. You're not. So, like the same, like if I have to bring up Brock Lesnar, when Paul Heyman came back, he was WWE, he was double champion. Then after that became and then became Universal WWE champion for a long ass time between 2015 to 2019. He's been dominant like that for 4 years straight, juggling the Universal and the WWE title back to back to back to back.
I just think how Brock won that title before going against Roman was absolute bullshit. I think they should have dragged the Bobby Lashley Brock feud for a minute because you have two powerhouses. That is some great entertainment right there. You have one that was former champion, one that was former champion. Bobby had the fucking title. You have manager against manager at the time. Like, that was great. I don't.
That would have been great storyline.
That's
But like
a
I
great
said,
storyline.
WWE's management and storyline sucks. It does. I'm gonna say it does. So,
But, since we're talking about WWE, should I hit them with my little conspiracy real quick?
go ahead, man.
So Twan, get this, right? So Cody Rhodes comes back, WrestleMania, which is funny because when he left, he started AEW. I think there's a reason why Cody's back. Now, I don't think it's about getting the title for his father. I think he's recruiting. I think he is recruiting more people to switch over to AEW. I really think so. That is my conspiracy theory. I think he is working behind the locker room, behind the scenes, and when their contract's up WWE, AEW is going to switch in, and they're going to take the contract. I promise you. And then he's going to leave and go back to AEW and start it from there. How do you think about that?
I never really thought about that because I thought with obviously Cody Rhodes coming in, new persons, fresh meat, then became dashing Cody Rhodes, which it was like it was an all right character. Then the bullshit Stardust came in, and that was terrible. Then he felt unhappy, which we all knew that. Left WWE, build up his reputation through Ring of Honor and juggling back and forth through other small wrestling companies, and then AEW came about, and obviously him regretting to win the AEW championship, that was kind of on him. That was a terrible decision not to go for the AEW title. And him coming back to WWE, I'm like, I understand he wants to win a world title for his father. I would too. You won, yes, you got the TNT title, another mid card title. Same thing goes for in the past. You got the tag team title, which is kind of like the lowest of the low in WWE, besides the 24 championship, but we don't talk about that championship. Then you have the United States Championship and the Intercontinental Championship, which he did win and never won a world title. And now he's back on WWE trying to go for that glory spot and actually win the WWE Championship or the Universal title or become an undisputed champion, which I would love to see. And now he's bringing this persona instead of being the American Dream, being the American Nightmare, which I love the new character of him.
I love it. I think what happens now, I think the walkout of Sasha and Naomi was planned because I think Cody did some shit behind the scenes. Because I think once he finally wins that title, and then whenever he loses, he goes back to AEW. I think what's going to happen is AEW is going to do a clean sweep. There's going to be a lot of motherfuckers without jobs. And then he's going to add all the star power from WWE coming to AEW. That's what I think is going to happen.
That is true because this man has so much of old WWE stars. It's not even funny.
The Hardy Boys are there. Hell, I saw Big Cass. Didn't see that motherfucker forever. Who else is in there? You have Sting. You have CM Punk.
You have Christian.
You have Christian, Chris Jericho.
Keith Lee, Swerve, the whole of Undisputed Era except for Roderick Strong. You have Big Show, a.k.a. Paul Wright. Mark fucking Henry. You got
Bryan Danielson, which is Daniel Bryan. You got John Moxley, Dean Ambrose.
You got, another one, CM Punk.
Yeah, CM Punk coming to AEW was a game changer. That broke the wrestling industry when he was going to come back.
Look, you might as well just call AEW WWE 2.0 because that's what it is at this point.
You might as well be, but it's a rival brand, and Cody Rhodes was a part of it. He made the brand, like him and Tony something. I forgot his name. Tony.
I think it's called Tony Khan, Tony Khan, something
Yeah,
like that.
Tony Khan. These motherfuckers. I mean, they have a big roster, and I think after Cody Rhodes' run and WWE is over, he's going to bring in some star power, and I think they're going to do a clean fucking sweep of the roster. I think they are. I think the people
Because
there.
oh my god, like there's like sorry to cut you off, but there's also like some people like there's at the point AEW was actually considering Brock Lesnar at one point.
That
They
would have been
were.
insane.
They were. And if Brock Lesnar comes to AEW, that's over with. Oh, that
Well,
is
it's
over.
just, but AEW right now, they just have too many people on the roster. You don't know who is who. Like, I mean, I've watched a couple AEW shows, and I'm trying to figure out the storyline. There's so many storylines in that company that it's confusing to the viewer. And I think what they need to do is do a clean sweep, get rid of the people that you don't see potential or is just not winning or not working, and keep the people that is. One of them I know they're going to keep is MJF. I hate this motherfucker. I
He's
really do.
basically the Miz in AEW. That's all he
I mean,
is.
CM Punk said it best when he had the feud. He's a less famous Miz, and that is so correct. I've never been. I mean, his character outside. He's in character all the time. I don't even know who the real MJF is. He's just such an asshole. I mean, I could not imagine. I mean, he was. I mean, it was just bad. But I know they're going to keep him because his mic skills are crazy. I mean, he can promote something. His wordplay in the wrestling ring is insane. Now, him wrestling, though, debatable. So, but I just think AEW is going to do a clean sweep. Maybe Ring of Honor is going to take half of them. And then I just believe that it's going to be different, AEW. I promise.
Yeah,
But continue to the
yeah.
next topic, my friend.
And I mean, like, okay, like one more thing before we go on to the final topic about like just I want to say one more thing about Roman Reigns. I understand that he's wants to probably like venture new stuff in his life, which is nothing wrong with that. Same thing for John Cena. Now he's doing movies. Same thing for The Rock. He's been doing movies and stuff. Maybe he wants to go to that route and also do movies because he was in a movie. He
He
was.
was
He
in
was in.
Hobbs and Shaw, yeah.
He was in Hobbs and Shaw, yes. And honestly, he's a great actor. And if I see him doing other like movies and TV shows, I could see that. I really like him. I really like his acting. I really do. But like, I just you're like I'm not saying you're strictly a WWE star. That's not that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say you're a great, excellent WWE star. Like, understand if you probably want to drop the titles like not or like basically not drop them or just lose the title. Be in a match and be like, all right, I'm gonna give this title up because I probably don't need it anymore, and probably lose your match to the person and be a great match, but like lose in the process. Like yeah, like I can see that, but part timer man, you're basically pulling a Brock Lesnar and being on the show whenever you want to, which that's the problem with WWE. Brock Lesnar was on the show part time. He only shows up when he wants. He only shows up basically. He basically be like, oh, Paul Heyman comes out, speaks for like Brock Lesnar and everything, and Brock Lesnar only shows up when he does. Same thing how with Roman Reigns. He walks from behind the scenes and watches on the TV in his head of the table lounge, and just basically putting up Brock. Like that's what you're trying to do now. And plus, you have your own family beside you. What is your cousins gonna think when you leave part time? Like every time you're not even there, in the arena, your cousins keep losing matches after matches after matches. The only time they win is when they're around you. That's it.
I think if Roman Reigns is not there tonight, I think RK Bro is going to take the titles. And I think if they take the titles, that's when Roman Reigns is coming back. Full time.
I mean, I understand if because I know there's going to be, unification match on, this coming SmackDown. And obviously, obviously, if Roman Reigns will get, if he thinks about getting involved, which he will be, I feel like they're gonna set themselves up for a Hell in a Cell match, and I feel like it will be for, obviously, for both titles, a unification match, and I feel like they should do it inside Hell in a Cell.
So, yeah, I think that should be. That's what it should be. I think it would eliminate the distractions, and I think that's what I like about Hell in a Cell. It is two people. You can't go nowhere. You are going to face it any way you can. You're not leaving, and I think that's what they need to do and have no distractions. But that's how I feel about it. I don't think Roman Reigns should be a part timer because again, he has both belts. He should be wrestling twice a week, and if he still has the titles for a pay per view, he needs to wrestle twice in one night. Now, if he didn't have the titles, then I can understand going part time. But you got both titles, my friend. So
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But yeah,